I don't know what I was going to say. Little ASMR moment. Where do you fit in the exploitative, extractive systems that we are all a part of? I need this book. Hey there, it's me, Lottie, and today we have another episode of Shelf Life, and I'm going to be talking to you today about a book, Sacred Actions. Sacred Actions, Living the Wheel of the Year Through Earth-Centered Sustainable Practices by Dana O'Driscoll. And I have to say that I really appreciate this contribution to the genre of conscious living. So I have been on a journey to cultivate a conscious lifestyle for many years now. And by conscious, I mean environmentally conscious, a just and fair and equitable way of living to impact the planet as little as possible while being aligned with my personal values and my personal comfort levels. I'm not going to lie, it's been a journey. It's been difficult. It is sometimes, I think, romanticized, this whole notion of getting off the grid and living off the fat of the land or being completely self-sustaining, okay? I've done a lot. I have done a lot, and this channel reflects my efforts. So if you think this is valuable content and you'd like to learn more about cultivating a sustainable and conscious lifestyle, subscribe, please. Like this video, leave a comment below because I would love to hear from you, first of all, and it helps me establish more of a presence on YouTube if I get more subscribers and likes. And plus, I'd just love for you to be in the crew because I have plans for this upcoming year, and this book has a lot to do with what I'm planning. So back to the book. It says on the back, a challenge that many pagans and earth-based spiritual practitioners face is how to integrate sustainable living with our everyday lives. And I really think this is a timely contribution because everyone can participate in their own way with cultivating a more conscious lifestyle. This particular book is set up according to the Wheel of the Year. And each chapter includes exercises and rituals that a person can practice in order to get familiar with the concepts that are described in each chapter and contribute to creating their own sense of sustainability and conscious living right in their home. Throughout the book, the author has illustrated beautifully different concepts, and not only different concepts, but she has even described processes that you can use. For example, this is the 3 garden designs using cardboard or sheet mulch, composting. So throughout the book, there are beautifully illustrated concepts and how-tos for putting a lot of what is discussed into use. One of the quotes I have flagged here is this: if we want to build a sacred relationship with our landscape and engage in sacred action, we must first find new ways of living, inhabiting, and being with each moment and with each breath. I love that, because you have to start where you are. Like I said, it's often romanticized, like we're going to get off the grid, we're not going to use any more plastic, we're going to grow all of our own food, we're not going to make any waste, and all of our cosmetics, if we use any, will be vegan and anti-cruelty and made with unicorn tears and all these things. It's not that easy, at least it hasn't been for me. And I've decided that there are things that I do still want to participate in my life, but I am trying to find the most ethical and eco-responsible and earth-friendly way to go about it. One that doesn't exploit other communities, other people, doesn't use unethical practices for its production. So it's a lot. And there is a lot covered in this book. Like I said, it goes through the whole year. So I would suggest this is a book that you keep with you. It is definitely a practical guide. It is a practitioner's handbook of sorts, because for every season you're going to find a new concept, some rituals, some exercises that you can try. In each chapter, the author goes over part of how the concept that is described in that chapter has been affecting the planet, how people have been affecting the planet. So for example, in the spring equinox chapter, disposing of the disposable mindset, the first thing that is talked about is inner and outer problems of consumerism and waste, how to shift away from the waste mindset and into sacred action, materialism, and eliminating excess stuff. Okay. The chapter on Beltane is about sacred action and our homes. So how do you create sacred space at your home in cooking, heating and cooling, water and water usage, sanitation and cleaning, lighting the night. And just one more example, summer solstice is about food and nourishment. It talks about sacred and social diets, local, sustainable, and seasonal diets, the ethical dimensions of food, ecosystems and food purchases. And not only that, it goes into showing you how to build a root cellar, how to develop seasonal food rituals where you're honoring your food. And one more, let's see, sacred gardening principles, beyond the lawn, how to get away from having a big swath of grass that's used for nothing. Earth ambassadorship, the practice of earth ambassadorship. How do you have sacred actions in the workplace? How do you consider transportation, and even intentional and community living? So, and that was just a small, I was just lifting a few things out of the table of contents. It is a relatively small book, but it touches on so much. So much. You would definitely be able to use this as a good starting point for evaluating where you are in your life right now, beginning to decide where you want to go, and how to develop a plan to get there. Each chapter, each thing that's discussed, you could easily go find a lot of books on and deepen your knowledge on the subject. So what I've been doing, so I read the whole book, and like I said, I finished it, and winter solstice is coming around now, and it's the perfect time to sort of dive back in and make my plan for the coming year, which is something that I'm hoping to do with you on this channel. I'm looking to find a group of people who may want to utilize this book and a lot of other resources that I know about for just challenging ourselves to take our living to the next intentional, conscious level, whatever it may be for you, and for me. So Winter solstice is coming around now. It's a perfect time for me to assess where I am and make my game plan for the upcoming year. And I can see this as being a book that you would use over and over again. It is written through the lens of paganism, but I would say any earth-based spiritual practitioners, even if you're not a quote-unquote earth-based spiritual practitioner, and if you're interested in learning more intentional, responsible ways to interact with the planet, it still would be a very, very useful resource. I feel like it's a very empowering book. I feel like it is doable. And I think that the viewpoint that the author comes from is an important one, because when we address issues of privilege, equity, access, and affordability, it is up to each and every one of us to play our part in dismantling systems that keep injustices in place. So, and that looks very different for each person, depending on where you fall in the scale of privilege. It requires a lot of personal reflection. I think this is very important for the individual to have moments of personal reflection about where they fit into the systems that are described herein. Not the sustainable, idealistic systems, but where do you fit in the exploitative, extractive systems that we are all a part of. I really enjoyed this book. It is written somewhat of a textbook style, but there are a lot of personal examples, and like I said, a lot of really practical how-tos that keep it from being just, you're not just being talked at through the whole book. It really gives you the opportunity to interact with the subject matter. Oh, exercises and rituals, a home sustainability audit. I love this. With the members of your family, if at all possible, take a careful walk around your home and make a list of things that you could do to live more sustainably. Explore waste flow, water flow, heating and cooling, storage, lighting, and more. And then I love how it goes right into your home as a sacred space. Like those, so your home sustainability audit, that's like, you know, DTE is telling you this is what you need to do, but then right next to it is your home as a sacred space. What is the outer symbolism around your home? Like small clay symbols of the 4 elements. Opening your space, how to set intentions, calling in the 4 elements, just treating your home as a sacred space. I love that it's just side by side like that, you know, because it's often separated in writing, in the public realm, you know, it's like, oh, the woo-woo is over here and the, I don't know, the practical, rational, fact-based stuff is over here. They can peacefully coexist. They have for all this time. So that's another thing that I really appreciate about this book, is that it's side by side. You know, it's not separating the worlds that we inhabit. I like this book. I love the cover. It's made out of a brown craft paper. It's a doesn't have a dust jacket. It doesn't have a dust jacket. It just folds out. I don't know. I just like it. It feels really good. So again, what I would love to do is perhaps start in the new year at some time, some sort of a study group, maybe a Patreon, where we get together and dive a little more deeply into these topics of sustainability, eco-responsible living, and personal empowerment as it comes to the ways we can take care of our home, ourselves, and our families. Like I said, I really enjoyed this book. It is available on multiple outlets. If you wanted to get it now, you would have it in time for the winter solstice, I think, when the book starts. So that might be nice. But yeah, Sacred Actions, Living the Wheel of the Year Through Earth-Centered Sustainable Practices by Dana O'Driscoll. I definitely recommend this book to anyone who's interested in cultivating a more planet-friendly, eco-friendly, socially just lifestyle, and wants a really hands-on way to do it. So I really appreciated this. I was sent this copy by the author, and I really am thankful that I was sent this to read and review. It was a pleasure, and I do think it's a valuable contribution to the genre of sustainable living and earth-based spirituality and environmental justice, eco-responsibility, and developing an intentional lifestyle. So I hope you decide to check it out. Again, like I was saying, please like and subscribe the channel if you think this content is valuable, or let me know what you'd like to see. So until I see you in the next video, I hope that you are warm and safe and taking really good care of yourself. All right?